Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me. I'm very proud to be able to present today further details on the Green Party's approach to green tax shifting. As you will know, we have been very clear for some years that green tax shifting is a fundamental piece of a Green Party approach. It stems from years of experience as it's been applied in countries in Europe where Greens have been part of government, and we have a lot of experience in this area. As of the fall of 2007, we did reveal the exact price that we would apply to a ton of carbon and the way in which the general scheme of how it would work. The difference is today that we'd like to give people a real example of how it works. There's been a lot in the media, of course, especially with the welcome turn of events that the Liberal Party plans to advocate a carbon tax as well and some form of tax shifting, and the good news that the NDP think that there should be government intervention in affecting the price of carbon, their approach being cap and trade. We have familiarity with all these areas, and we have a comprehensive piece that brings them all together. But in the face of what can be considered very responsible and useful statements from other political party leaders that get to the substance of the issue, we face a barrage of nasty political attack ads and absolute nonsense in the House of Commons. So in an attempt to set the context and the framework and provide real details so Canadians can see what this means in real terms, we've gone through a costing exercise with the assistance of David MacDonald, who's an independent economist who's here in Ottawa with the Rideau Institute and other agencies for which he has consulted. The context in which we bring forward this policy solution is that we have two crises which are converging. The one which represents the most serious long-term threat to our children's survival and to global security is the climate crisis. It's a direct result of our profligate burning of fossil fuels. It is one that is not a political objective. It has real limits that are clear in the science that we face a climate emergency for which we are running out of time. So if we had the luxury of time, we might have a different solution. If it was just a political question of one must do something about this thing called climate change, one could have a different conversation, the kind of procrastinating conversations we've had for the last 20 years. But it's urgent, and the limits are real, and they're in the atmosphere, and we can't change them. The other crisis that we face is the rising price of fossil fuels. This is also one driven by a certain number of inevitabilities. Fossil fuels were always a finite resource, and the cheap and available petroleum products, the cheap conventional oil, is in short supply. We still have lots, but we don't have fossil fuels at those cheap prices anymore, and we're seeing an unprecedented price for a barrel of oil. So political parties and political leaders who want to be responsible must address this long term and must always be cognizant of the big picture. The big picture is that the foundational piece for addressing the climate crisis is to price carbon in ways that discourage reliance on fossil fuels, to accelerate the quick uptake of new available technologies, renewables, massive shifts of energy efficiency and improvements in productivity, all of which will respond appropriately to a pricing signal. I want to underscore that a carbon tax is not about putting the price of carbon so high that it creates pain that makes people stop driving. That kind of a tax is simply unreasonable. All of the economic analysis, and David MacDonald being the economist should speak to this sort of thing, the elasticity and the demand for energy, and particularly for gasoline, is so high that a gas tax would need to be in the dollars, not in the pennies a liter to make a difference. So that's not the purpose of this. This is as endorsed by economist after economist after economist, from Don Drummond to The Economist magazine, right through to the National Roundtable on Environment and Economy. This is a mechanism for quickly, efficiently, effectively sending a signal to the whole economy. Tax neutrality is key here. I heard a conservative MP on Mike Duffy the other day. Either he doesn't understand this at all, or his job is to distribute disinformation. Tax neutrality does not mean that you spend all the money you take in. Tax neutrality means that for every dollar of carbon tax received, Canadians receive $1 of tax cuts somewhere else. So this is about taking from pollution and giving to people. It's a new modern Robin Hood approach, and we are going to take from pollution and give to Canadians. Which Canadians need the help the most? Unlike the Gordon Campbell approach in British Columbia, which is also a welcome bit of progress, it's very nice from a policy point of view to be able to point to what's already being done in provincial governments, what's already being talked about by responsible federal political parties. Their approach was to send everyone the same dollar amount. Well, we know the pain of higher gas prices is not felt evenly across Canadian society. Some people feel it more than others. That's why we're going to cut income taxes. We're going to cut payroll taxes. That's going to help small business, and it means that every 2 weeks in the paycheck you take home, there's more money on the paycheck. We are going to provide a GST rebate for rural Canadians to further decrease the pain of higher gas prices. We are going to cut student loans in half. We're going to provide rebates and increased assistance to low-income Canadians, and particularly for the rural poor who feel higher energy prices the most. We are going to do this right across the economy. Middle-class families will feel benefit. Low-income families will feel even more benefit. Students will feel a lot of benefit. And the way that the tax neutrality of a green tax shift works, we move our economy more effectively away from fossil fuels. 75% of the carbon taxes received under our plan will come from business and industry. That's important to know because this is $50 a ton throughout the economy, consistent price signal. And it's part of an overall climate plan that's designed to leave our children with a livable world.